Welcome to Meeting of the Moms, a place to talk about all the things. I'm Amy Rasmussen. I'm a teacher by profession, a wife and mother by choice, an optimist by nature, and happy by design. I'm here with my good friend Lorna, who I call one of my greatest cheerleaders.
Hi, I'm Lorna Adams. I'm a wife, mom, and certified life coach. I strive to embrace and enjoy each new phase of life. Here at Moms, we believe the world is wide open to all of us and that we have unlimited potential. We're so glad you're here.
So glad to have you here. I want to celebrate for just a second about something that's a little funny and involves Lorna and me. As we were getting ready to meet this morning, my 15-year-old said, "So Mom, I want to be able to use the computer today for this and this and this." And some of those things had to do with work, and he does need to get on and do them. And I said, "Well, that's great, but I have a meeting from this time to this time, and I need the computer." And so we were just kind of talking. He's like, "Well, maybe you could use the computer." Because I'm like, "I only need it for half the time." He's like, "Well, why don't you use it for the first half of your time, because then I could be showering." And I'm like, "Well, that doesn't really work, because usually we use it during the second part of our time." So we were just kind of doing this whole thing. So then I get a text from Lorna, and she's like, "Hey, one of my kids needs my computer today. So could we do, the part where we need the computer first?" And I just had to laugh. I'm like, "Sure." So what I'm celebrating is that my son and I communicated. I'm celebrating that you reached out and we're just like, "Hey, will this work?" And then it just worked out perfectly, because that's the time that both of the kids needed it. So celebrating that flexibility and the communication that resulted in a solution that is going to work for 4 different people without really too much trouble.
Yeah, so good.
What about
so
you? Any great things?
Well, after you shared that, I had a change of heart of what I'm going to celebrate today. I'm going to celebrate something different. And in the night, I woke up and my husband's out of town for a couple of days. So I'm in my room alone. All my kids are home. But something at 4 a.m. woke me up. There was some clatter, something. I kind of wonder if it was a windstorm and something had shifted and kind of startled me awake. And I had a hard time going back to sleep. Anyway, did a few different things. But one of the things that I did was I texted the friend that I work out with today saying, "I am up right now. I'm going to try and go to sleep, but I'm really having a hard time going to sleep. So I'm going to turn off my alarm so my brain can relax. And if I'm up, I'll text you." Anyway, I totally did that. It worked out way better. I wasn't stressing about waking up. And then I was still able to wake up. I still woke up on my own and was able to go and run this morning. So it was like, I guess, the celebration of giving my brain a break, figuring out what my brain needed. And it really was to not worry about waking up early.
Yeah.
And my body was able to still wake up early and it was all fine. So I got my run in like I wanted.
Yeah. Well, and it even sounds a little bit like not falling through with your friend, not being like, "Oh, I didn't show up because my brain didn't wake up." Because if you're just going to go by yourself, who knows if it would have been as stressful. But knowing you had a commitment with someone and then that all mixed in, and once you could let the person know, "I'm going to let my body do what it does," then your body could do what it did.
Yes, totally.
Awesome. That's awesome. Well, good job.
Well, and I'm going to congratulate you. I feel like you have been a great example of communicating really well. And so I don't know if you've ever done that similarly. Like maybe we've done some of that in the past between the two of us. But
I feel like I've done so much of that.
I think the part about communicating, and I think that's so valuable too. So then she knew I didn't just not set my alarm, or I didn't just sleep through my alarm, that it really, I'm committed. However, I'm struggling tonight, and then letting her know. And then anyway, just however it played out. But I think it was just good to be communicating. So thank you for helping me be a better communicator throughout the years of our friendship.
All those times I've canceled. You are welcome. No, thank you. No. And I guess what I love about this too is when we look back over the past 10 years, we're like, we have been consistent. Wow, 10 years of us doing multiple things, not even just the exercise. Right. And yet we both know that there have been times we've each had to cancel, whether it's like someone's on a vacation, so we know ahead of time it's the whole week, or whether it's something like this. Both of us have had times where it's like, I've got a migraine and it's 3 a.m. and I need to function for the rest of my life. So I can't do the whatever appointment we had. And sometimes one of us says, "That's fine. Let's just try and talk later in the day. I'll be doing my laundry," or whatever. And other times we just don't worry about it. But it's cool too that we were consistent enough with each other and we communicated that we could trust that this is generally happening. And then we could be flexible and patient in the moments when it didn't work out. both with
Yeah.
ourselves and with the other person. So
Yeah.
look at that. Just a whole slew of awesome things. When we can see it that way, I guess.
Right.
When we can see it through that lens. Yeah. I think that's great. And I think it goes right into what we had talked about, kind of talking about today, in this case, within the context of summer, which is the need for structure, the need for spontaneity, the need for flexibility, especially within the context of summer.
Yes. Yeah.
And so, I mean, we just talked about how we just need it in life, but I think summer is its own animal, of a different structure that so many of us are looking forward to, but also once we're in it, it can often just be like, oh, okay, this isn't how I pictured it. What is going on?
Totally. And I think some people really dread summer because of the lack of structure, because I think they typically love the structure possibly. And then that there is some more fluidity with whatever is going on in their lives, whether their job ends because they work in the schools, or whether their kids, are home a lot more and they're young. And so they need that, or whatever, whatever it may be. Some, I think, dread it too. But I think summer can be so fun. And I think it is nice to be able to see it that way rather than the dread, and just let it be a different kind of animal that you're tending to.
Yeah. I think too, it's even like me at different times looking forward to summer or not, because there have been summers that feel a little more stressful. I think I tend towards the looking forward to it, and the dreading it hasn't happened as often. But there have been summers where I'm just like, I am not ready for this to happen. And so also within our own lives, there's that variation. With the structure, I was really thinking of those three words of like structure, spontaneity, and flexibility, because I feel like the summer needs all three of them. So often we talk about not liking change, like no one likes change, no one likes change. And I think about that, I'm like, actually, I love the change of school year to summer, and I love the change of summer to school year.
Yes.
Right. Like I love the changing seasons that we get to enjoy in Utah, because there are 4 distinct seasons. I don't love unexpected change, when it's like slam, flat tire. I mean, some unexpected change, those are surprises and whatever, those are fun.
Yes.
Right. So interesting thought. But with this idea of knowing that summer's going to be different and a different structure, one of the things I thought about is that it requires creating your own structure if you're going to have it. And you can fall into a structure, but if you create no structure, then you just are kind of like, okay, we're doing whatever. And that can even be a decided on structure. I want us to wake up every morning and just do what we feel like doing, but then just own it and be like, okay, that's our structure for the summer. And if that doesn't work for you, then you can figure out, all right, I want a little structure. I want to at least have a bedtime, right? If you have little kids, maybe, or I want to at least have some rhythms or something like that.
And I think some of that could easily be like before lunch, I want to have like, let's make sure all of our beds are made, or whatever it may be, right? It can be minor or major, but just that you kind of have some of that built in. Yeah. Very good.
Yeah. Something that just happened with my 11-year-old within the past couple of weeks is I was going to be gone with my older child. So he was going to be home alone. And I'd asked him, do you want to come? He's like, no. I was like, okay, I'm going to be gone all day. Like, that's fine. So I made him a list of things to do, and we've done charts and lists in the past, but for whatever reason, that hadn't really been working. So I have a bullet journal for him, which, he loves, of course. No, but he's learning how to use it. And so I listed these things. I listed like self-care, like his showering and his eating, like basic needs. And I kind of categorized it. And then like jobs he need to get done. And then some of the goals that he's had for the summer, which, okay, even just saying that to you, Lorna, makes it sound like, what are you talking about? No structure. That sounds like a lot of structure. Some of these things were put into place like earlier in the year. It wasn't all for the summer, but just wrote it all down. Go ahead.
And really quick, and even throughout your time raising your kids, right? I mean, some of that is even ongoing for years, but yes, go ahead.
Right. And this is my youngest, who is 11, not like my oldest, who's 11. So just, let's be real. Anyway, so I wrote it all down, and I said, you need to call me when you get done, or if you have questions, whatever. So 9:15, he calls me, and I'm like, okay, go through and tell me what you've done. He's like, okay, I've eaten, and I cleaned up the table, and I put stuff back in the fridge. I had to list those things because milk is left out at our house all the time, or it's like breakfast is just left there. I'm like, you ate and then you went and read. Why didn't you just clean up? So anyway, those were listed. He's like, I did that. I cleared the dishwasher. I mowed the lawn. I think that was a mow the lawn day. He said, I took a shower, I got dressed, I hung up the bath mat, I hung up my towel, I sorted my laundry, I read my scriptures. Like he kept going. I'm like, did I seriously make this long of a list? Apparently I did. I did my running. I wrote in my bullet journal the thing that's my goal right now. And I was like, that is a lot of stuff. And you got it all but done. Like, I'm amazed as he's rattling this off. And he got done by 9:15.
That is
and I said,
awesome.
Isn't that awesome that you got all of that done by 9:15? That is really cool. And yes, you can play. And he had lots of playing. Well, today, this is like a couple weeks later, he hasn't just been doing that every day, because I do not live in like some sort of Mary Poppins perfect land. Like, it's not reality every day. And I just said to him last night, I was like, do you remember that day when you were able to get up and just get the things done, and then you just had freedom the whole day, and how good that felt, and you got done by 9:15? He's like, yeah, I do remember that. So this morning he chose to dive in and do his stuff, and again, done by like 9:15. Now we do get up kind of early, so those who are like, we don't even get up till 9, it's totally fine, but we're like an earlier get up family. And I guess what's cool about that is even the simple structure of one time, me kind of writing it down in this notebook where he knew he could go, because he'd X'd everything out that first day, but now he's just put new dots by each item. And apparently he's done it several days, and he'll just put a new dot out to the side. So he's got like 4 X's now next to him, because he's done it like these 4 different days. So the idea that figuring out what you're already doing and what's working well, and just communicating it with the children can actually do quite a bit when there's that communication, and when they have a paper to go back to, and they can be self-motivated and self-moving, and then they feel so much more confidence in themselves, because they're like, yes, I did get that done by 9:15. So anyway, that's my thought on structure.
So good.
Do you have anything else?
Well, I love one of the parts that I love about that is that it was kind of all written down beforehand. I think even for me as an adult, I do really well when I do include like all the things that I need to do on a list or whatever. And I do that a lot with my Monday hour one, that scheduling time that I do typically on Friday, but it's to help set my next week off that we both have been doing. But I am amazed at how productive I can be when I really am plugging in all the little things. I may not get 100% of them done, but I get way more done of those things than I would if I was not listing them all out. There's something to that I really value. So even for me, yesterday was a little bit more of a down day, a slower paced day. I didn't have lots of commitments. And I was still able to get a few things done because they've been on my mind. It's kind of that checklist. Some of the things had been written down, some had not. Read a chapter in this particular book, in another particular book, clean off my dresser, get to the bottom, pretty much to the bottom of my dirty clothes in the laundry room, which has been piling up for a while.
I love the phrase that you just used. Just get to the bottom, see the floor or whatever. Yeah, cool.
But just because some of those things have been listed on my Monday hour one for the week, and because some of them have been on a mental list, which is always better to write it out. But I was able to get lots more done than I would have had I not been intentional beforehand with the things I wanted done. So I love that with even you're seeing that with your son. And to check it off, for me, that feels successful. That is fun to check things off. Like, yep, I got those things done. But I like the planning ahead of time also, rather than in the moment of, do I feel like it or not? Nope, I don't. I'm not going to do it. Or I already planned it. I'm doing it. Let's just go.
Yep. Let's just make it happen. Well, and it takes off some of the decision fatigue too, because you are just like, okay, those are some things that I know once they are done, I will feel better because they have been done. Am I happy doing them? Sometimes not. It's not like laundry is. You're like, oh my gosh, this is so fun, right? Like, I want more laundry to do. But you're just like, I will feel better knowing it's done. So let's just make it happen.
Well, I think there's that success. I mean, the feeling better, whatever, but like accomplished. I did something. This is so great. Yay me. I get to celebrate some of that.
And it feels good to do what you say you're going to do to yourself. Yeah, totally. Well, so let's talk about spontaneity for a minute. So enter spontaneity. We had this day, I think it was maybe it was the day after I had been gone all day. And my funny son, he's like, well, you just abandoned me the whole day yesterday. And I was like, we had a conversation about this. I asked you if you wanted to come and you said no, and you knew it was all day, but whatever. But we decided, we've been wanting to play the game rounders. It's like a form of kind of a baseball cricket kind of thing, but lots of fun, but you need 16 people. So I'm like, well, I really want to do this with kids your age while your older brother's out of town. And then he's like, why don't we just do it today? And part of me was like, because it's not in the plan. But then part of me was like, well, why not? Why not? I know we can do it today. And frankly, like looking at the rest of the week, I really don't know where we can piece that in, but we kind of could today. So I texted a gazillion people. We did end up rounding up 16 people and we did it, but an opportunity presented itself. And if I'd been too rigid with my structure and been like, yeah, but you got all that done by 9:15, why don't you just do that all again? And we're not going to do the spontaneous thing. We really would have missed out on something that was so fun for us. So as much as the structure is helpful, I think it's great in summer specifically to be ready to grab those opportunities when they present themselves, to be spontaneous, all within the context. I looked at the week. I was able to look at the context of the week because I had a little bit of structure because we bullet journal. Yeah. And I had just enough structure to realize I can be spontaneous today. It's not going to make me crazy for the rest of the week, because if that's the case, then maybe that's not the moment to be spontaneous. But it was better that day than another day. So we just went for it. Yeah. Thoughts on spontaneity?
I love it. I feel like with the kids being around, I feel like I do like to be open to spontaneity, that is a feature of me. And some people that would drive crazy, and that is totally fine. I think it's everything, like all of these things are so individual. Yes. What works for you is totally fine. But I do love that. I do love being able to be open to changing or adjusting or whatever, just because there is the time. And I feel like there was a little bit of that we've been doing because summer, like, oh, somebody's off today or tomorrow. Okay, let's plan something where we can go and play because the others, their jobs are more flexible and we can make it work or whatever. Yep. Anyway, I do appreciate the spontaneity.
Yeah. Yep. Well, and I think for me too, like being a little bit aware of that. And even at the beginning of summer, thinking to myself, I want to be available when my people are home and available. And I happen to be the one with the flexibility right now. So my husband works a 40-hour-a-week job. My oldest just got a job working out of town. And since he's fighting fires, he is sometimes on a fire, sometimes not. And he's only home like 2 days a week. So on those 2 days, I want to be super flexible. I don't want to be like, dang it, I didn't get all my stuff done. Now I'm going to do it that day. Nope. I want those open. Not because he's spending every second with me, obviously. But I want to be flexible because his schedule is such that he doesn't really plan stuff until the day before he's going to be off. And then he reaches out to friends and whatever. So if I am not flexible, then that's hard. And then my other son is reffing. And we've learned, this is for summer, that is a very flexible thing. So we never really know when he's going to be reffing and when he's not. And so that 1 week with my youngest son, he was the only one home because they did happen to know the oldest son's working, the other son's at a camp this week. Okay, I want to do stuff with him. So even that awareness helped me to be more spontaneous in the context of what he'd want to do, as opposed to being like, let's plan the whole week out. Nope, let's just be open.
Yeah, totally.
I think it's really good.
I do love even that phrase to remind my brain, like I can be open to new things or something about being open. Yeah. Rather than feeling so tied to my schedule. And there's some things that are like, sorry, it won't work. I have an appointment. I'm coaching somebody that time or whatever. There's some of that for sure. But then there's lots of other places where I can be a little more flexible and open to things. And so letting that still be part of it.
Yep. Well, so let's step into flexibility and we can kind of finish up with talking about flexibility. Realizing for you have all four kids are working this summer, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And some of them have pretty flexible jobs where it's like, well, I could do this anytime, but some do not.
Yes. Correct.
Right.
Yep.
And so I just love even the fact that you looked at that and you decided like, okay, like knowing that you might cancel on a Friday with me because all of a sudden everyone's together. But you and I have also communicated enough about like, this is our number one. Like if all of a sudden my husband's available or our kids are available and this is the day to do it, we're going to do it. Now we don't do that every time.
Right.
We're consistent with each other, which allows us to give each other the space to be like, okay, of course I support you in like taking that opportunity and vice versa. Right. Yeah. So that's just really cool.
That was a perfect example last week. I mean, we had to bump our meeting. You and I had to bump our meeting.
Oh yeah, we did.
I did tell you, hey, I do need to be out of town Wednesday. It's looking like I'm going to be gone the rest of the week. Do you have some time on Tuesday or however it kind of shook out? But that was exactly it. Like, yeah, there was some flexibility with with my daughter's schedule that is more rigid, or there was some time off that she had, and let's play with it. Like, let's go and do some of the things. And so then we were able to go up north as a family. And then this week I was noticing on the schedule as I was planning out my Monday hour one, she doesn't work on Thursday. And so I asked my family, like, hey, do you guys want to go play? We can go up to a water park. We live like an hour and a half from water parks, but do you guys want to do that? Like, if everyone can be flexible, like if everyone can get their hours in differently on Wednesday and Friday this week or whatever, do you want to shift it and do that? And everyone was all for it. My husband's out of town with business. And so he's still out of town till tomorrow.
Yeah.
So he'll meet us up there when he gets into town, and we'll do dinner before we
come.
Oh,
nice.
But yeah. So, I mean, some of that too, just being flexible and communicating, which is huge, to see if all of this can work for everyone.
And that's what I was just going to say. I think the key with flexibility and spontaneity is communication. And then going back full circle to the structure, you have just enough structure that you could look at your week and notice that there was that pocket. Because what can be hard is if you hadn't noticed, and then like Wednesday night, you're like, wait a second, you guys, can everyone just do this Thursday? And then everyone's like, what? And then it's stressful and it's hard. And then there's tension. Not always, but when you have 5 different people you're working with, it's really hard for everyone to have that same feeling of like, yay, at the same time. Yeah. So I just love that those things all go together.
Yeah. Yeah. So fun.
So cool. I think this is a great place to just wrap it up. And a parting thought for anyone who's like, okay, but now what do we do with all that stuff you just said? Maybe it's just about looking at the structure, the spontaneity, and the flexibility for you and figuring out what helps me here. Do I need to be fully spontaneous and fully flexible here? Or would it help me to add a little structure? Or are you too structured and you need to like calm that down a little bit? Because different phases, different stages, different people, it all changes. But those 3 words can maybe help you take a look at things and just explore. So structure, spontaneity, and flexibility, all in the context of summer.
Awesome. So try it out. Let us know what you find out, what you learn about yourself. We'd love to hear.
We'd love to hear it. Have a great week. See ya.
Yep. See ya.
Thanks for coming to Meeting of the Moms. We hope it made your load a little lighter. We'd love to hear what's on your mind. Send your celebrations, takeaways, and suggestions for future topics to momswithamyandlorna@gmail.com.
If you enjoyed the show, please like, share, and subscribe. If this isn't the right fit for you, we wish you well on your journey. Until next time, I'm Lorna Adams.
And I'm Amy Rasmussen. See you next week at Moms.